It's a massive drop. Can you please help clear that up for our viewers? How do we understand this? That it's not just 25 to 18, it's 50 to 18.
That's right. There was a speculation in the market as soon as this was announced. But remember, after 25% tariff, there was a reciprocal additional punitive tariff because India was seen buying Russian oil. And because this announcement only states one negotiation point, which is that India will stop buying Russian oil and will focus more on US oil and potentially later Venezuelan oil. So since only this point was made, there was some clarity required. But I've heard it that Sergio Gore has clarified that it is coming in to 18% in total. So that's going to be a very, very big victory. Anyways, that additional 25% was more of a retaliatory statement made by the US in the wake of the Russian-Ukraine war, which US has been trying to really stop. So oil diplomacy, geopolitics in Russia and Ukraine, those were the two important factors because of which we also had to take the wrath. But the clarity coming in on this 18%, that it has been finally reduced to that, there could have been pressure on two counts on the US to quickly wrap up the trade negotiation and sign a deal with the US, especially with the European Union signing mother of all deals in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's words with India, and also giving us the concession and the comfort on critical areas like protecting the interests of agriculture, as well as dairy, farm, and other such sectors where India wants to protect its own farmers. And therefore, European Union deal, and with the geopolitics and the political diplomacy, even between EU and US, has now also pressurized US to sign this negotiation and come up with some negotiation and trade deal with India quickly. Also, I would say that a very emphatic budget where we looked at fortifying our own economy. So two-pronged strategy of FTAs with other countries, opening other regions for Indian manufacturers and exporters, and giving newer market as an offset to US. Of course, we can't completely offset. US is still our biggest importer, but one, that strategy. And second, building our own resilience and pointing out some of the very critical and important sectors for our own resilience. Sure. Those two have been blockbuster steps by India to really put pressure and diplomatic pressure on the US to come to the table and finally put an end to the uncertainty which has been going on for almost 1 year, where the economy and the manufacturers, exporters have been on tenterhooks. So this clarity
what I'd like to do, Risha, if you just hold on for half a second, is just for the benefit of our viewers, explain what we broke here on NDTV. The big story is that there is a trade deal between India and the United States. It's one which was announced first by the US president. It was then followed by a tweet from Prime Minister Modi. In terms of the substantive part, the tariffs have gone down to 18%. Earlier, remember, India faced 50% tariffs, and that was because of India's import of Russian oil, in addition to tariffs on separate items. What is now going to take place, according to Donald Trump, is that there'll be an import of oil by India from Venezuela that would replace Russia, an import of oil possibly from the United States, a trade to about $500 billion across several areas. And then he's also spoken very strongly about the relationship between him and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So I think the relationship, and, Padmaja, this is something you may want to come in on, the relationship between America and India, which was really suffering, in a sense, has been righted. As we wait for the final details, I think it's likely to look upwards from here onwards.
Absolutely. And in fact, effusive praise there for the Prime Minister coming from Donald Trump, where he said that, both he and I are men who like to get things done. He's a hugely respected leader in his own country. And it is out of respect for Prime Minister Modi that we have come to this trade deal. The punitive tariff has been done away with, like we just discussed. And of course, the overall tariff also has gone down from 25% to 18%. So yes, you have a lot of politics here happening on the sidelines, even after this massive, massive announcement. Like we were just, telling our viewers that it's been a pretty good day in office for the Prime Minister. If you look at it, like Nisha explained, we just had the mother of all deals with the EU that we managed to seal. And now, then we had a budget yesterday, and today comes this massive announcement on the reduction of tariffs. So a good day in office as far as India is concerned. But on the sidelines, also to bring our viewers up to speed, you have the politics, the attendant politics, Gauri, with the Congress furiously tweeting away saying, why is it that the US president made this announcement? What are the details of this deal? Have the farmers' interests been protected? Which is interesting considering that ever since this tariff had been levied on us, continuously it was being said, why is there no deal? Why is America holding out? And when the Prime Minister had said in his Independence Day speech that no force on earth is going to make us or is going to push us against a wall, we will not in any way compromise on the interests of our farmers. We held out all of this while, but the politics still continues. Gauri.
Indeed, and it has taken us a year to reach here, this particular point and to close this deal. 11th of February is when last year the Prime Minister was in the Oval Office, and that's when the trade negotiations started. Through this